All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. We're so glad to have you with us. My name is Todd Herman, and I lead development for the Bobby Dodd Institute. And today, we're going to be covering social integration. So this is the final session of our Igniting the Inclusive Workforce virtual series. And over the course of the 11 sessions or so, we've had about 500 people either view the webinars live or view them on YouTube channel, which we will share later on this afternoon. But I wanted to welcome you all and first give a tip of the hat to our sponsors. So we're so thrilled to have the Atlanta Foundation as a funder, and of course, BDI has been a strong supporter of this initiative, as well as Disability Inn of Greater Atlanta. And Georgia Tech has been a huge sponsor from the very beginning. And we're also so grateful for our friends at MARTA for supporting the IIW. So today, as I said, it's all about social integration, and wanted to introduce our speakers. So our first speaker is Renee Wiggins. So she is an esteemed colleague of mine. And Renee focuses her work as a support coordinator for our family support department. And she really works to assist parents in their role as caregivers. So that includes identifying the best matches in the community for services. And that could mean various therapies. It could mean medical supplies and different activities, but Renee has been an instrumental colleague, and we're so thrilled that she's going to be presenting to you today. So Renee, when you're ready, take it away.
Thank you, Todd. Let me share my screen. Okay, so thank you, Todd, for that introduction. And I thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to engage with BDI today as we review the need and importance for social integration. Give me one more second. Let me get that screen in a bigger view for you. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to look at social integration layers. We're going to look at BDI integration services, supporting social integration, BDI community partnerships, BDI social integration, and then I'll open up the floor for any questions anybody may have for me. What is social integration? It is clear that people want to be a part of their community, but sometimes they are not socially included. Social integration means that people have social relationships with others whom they choose, and they're able to engage and share common interests. Being socially included ensures that individuals, regardless of their disability, feel and experience a sense of belonging within their community, acceptance for who they are within their community, engage in value roles, actively participate in their community, choose their activities, and develop bonds and friendships within their community. We must be aware that social integration is an important aspect of overall health. Without integration, people are more likely to experience poor physical and mental health, feel socially isolated, have poor self-esteem, and feel stigmatized by their community. We must ensure that as professionals, we are advocating for those with differing abilities within our professional atmosphere, so we can see changes in policies and legislations around how the community is set up and arranged for those with differing abilities. So social integration ensures that individuals with disabilities are engaging, they're in activities, and they're doing activities similar to their peers without a disability. Integration allows for people to take advantage of the same benefits and services that we all have access to. Okay. Integration provides opportunities to participate in all social aspects of one's community. There are reasons why BDI provides services that promote social integration. There are blockages that exist. They could be social, political, and cultural ideologies around people not understanding the importance of social integration. Could be lack of access to natural buildings, so not being able to get in and out of buildings, not being able to access transportation. It could be a lack of availability to assistive technology that supports integration. It could be lack of family and community support. We must ensure families are linked to their communities so they are aware of the services and opportunities available to them. This is what BDI strives to ensure. Many people with disabilities unnecessarily experience a life quality different than their societal members. They may not have a sense of presence in their community and may not have access to the activities they prefer to do. When people lack opportunities to play, work, learn, and build social bonds, it's time for advocacy, it's time to bring awareness, and it's time for change. So we must ensure social integration efforts exist. This involves more than simply encouraging people. It requires that we make sure that adequate policies and procedures are in place within our organizations and communities. We must act through advocacy efforts. We must communicate and share information. We must host events that bring awareness. We must educate and inform others via social media avenues. We must engage our businesses, our families, and our friends in activities that promote integration. I want you to remember, integration leads to participation. Supporting individuals of differing abilities, we can create a more inclusive community with each individual's unique strengths are empowered and utilized. So social integration is a process of improving conditions and access that individuals experience so barriers are removed. So let's talk about some of the BDI services that promote integration. And I just say some of them because we offer a complex range of community services for our participants, regardless of age, race, gender, ethnicity, religion, or level of need, and even regardless of their culture or language spoken. BDI offers recreational activities that are centered around getting people out into the community, getting them engaged. Recreational activities are designed to support regular participation, and the goal is for activities to provide opportunities for individuals to develop their awareness of their interests, build their self-esteem, and create social bonds. Some of the recreational activities that BDI supports are listed here. We have dance, music, poetry, fitness classes, aquatics, and it goes on. We have Pilates, we have yoga, Taekwondo, and we have memberships to Zoo Atlanta and the Georgia Aquarium. BDI is proud of the services we offer via our community partners, and we are expanding and growing those partnerships every day. So why recreational activities again? They bring people together that share similar interests, and they allow for opportunities to be involved. Recreation is about what people choose to do for fun and enjoyment, not what they're obligated to do. Recreational activities provide interactions over an extended period of time. So I want you to think about it. We don't build bonds with people we meet once or twice. But when we get together with people over numerous times, we build friendships and we build bonds. That is why integration is important. Another service that we offer is community access. When you think about community access, what do you think of? When you access your community, what do you do? So you interact, you shop, you access buildings, you're safe in the community, and we do so much more. We work and we vote in our communities. So imagine not having access to the things within your community that you need to do. That is why these are the types of services BDI wants to ensure access to so integration can occur. Community access is all about the opportunity to engage. Opportunity is not simply another word for access, but refers to something slightly different. By making access easier and removing barriers, you can create opportunities for people to use community services and to be and feel included. Community access also makes sure that we have people with disabilities have access to a full range of services that are offered in their community. Health services, education services, recreational services, the things that contribute to a higher quality of life for everyone. That is what community access is all about. How does BDI support social integration? Providing participants and families with a designated staff so they stay informed, are supported, and have personalized help to link them to needed services is one way we support. Through the BDI Family Support Program and social integration activities, we help with access. By advocating, teaching, linking to resources, we help with awareness. By bringing families and vendors together, we help connect. By utilizing delegated state funding to support integration needs and requests, we help with payment. And we have great partnerships within the community, which helps further our vision and efforts of community integration. BDI currently has 207 specialty vendors located throughout the various counties of Georgia. Here's a glimpse of some of our diverse vendors. We have A1 Driving School, which offers driving lessons to our participants. We have the Spectrum Autism Support Group, which is about building friendships and bonds through peer groups and virtual groups. And then we have Lego Tech of Georgia, which introduces technology to enhance language. They have social skills sessions to build bonds and explore animal connections with our participants. And we have the Spectrum Tech Scholarship, which covers a 4-week software and quality assurance training program. And not only do we have our vendors, BDI has their own social inclusion efforts. So we have Breakfast with Champions, which is a fundraising event that recognizes the accomplishments of our participants, employer partners, and community advocates. We have Tebow's Night to Shine, which is all about the ultimate prom experience. And then we have celebrity Zoom events. So we've had Ludacris, who you can see up in the right corner under the lady in the pink, participate in our Zoom events. We've also had Tisha Campbell and Keisha Knight Pulliam, who are actresses, participate with us. And we've gone further. We've had a women's and men's group where we talk about relationships, parenting, life skills, and safety. And this was able to bring our individuals together and help them form bonds. We've had a hiking club where we went to various parks throughout the counties we serve and was able to explore nature. And we've also participated in an advocacy event on Capitol Hill. BDI is committed, invested, and aware of the need of social integration. And we wanted to highlight that important fact for you today. We will continue to strive to bring awareness and ensure that we offer services that support and promote social integration. Does anybody have any questions for me? Okay. Well, we thank you so much for attending and listening to us today. Todd, back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Renee. I actually had a question, if you wouldn't mind answering it for folks, as to how do you find the best match in terms of activities or therapies, or finding that best service in terms of social integration for an individual?
Okay, it's a great question. So it's all about person-centered services. So making sure that I'm listening effectively to what the participant wants, including their family in that conversation. But then we also have to look at location, right? So you may want to participate in a camp that's in the Georgia mountains, but we have to look at access. So it's all about making sure that it's accessible, right? And it's the participant's choice. And so it's really just having those collective conversations. It may take several conversations. We may reach out to multiple vendors to see, okay, well, this is what is being requested. How do you match this? How do we adapt this to what the participant wants to make sure that it's person-centered? So that's how we would accomplish that. That's
great. And how many partners do you have again?
207 vendors as of today, but probably by the end of the week, it could be 214.
That's great. Great, super. So we will be sharing later on in terms of how to reach out and connect with BDI. It looks like we have a question that came in on that. But we have another question, Renee. How can employers partner with BDI to share open job opportunities with our program participants?
Mm-hmm. Great question. So we have different ways depending on what level you want to get involved. We have the vendor process, and we have a designated staff that helps you with that. And then of course, we also have our employment options as well. So we would definitely want to talk, collaborate, and see which avenue would be best. But we definitely have that option available to you, and we would welcome it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Renee.
You're welcome.
All right. This time I want to introduce our next presenter. Myrna is Alabama born, but Atlanta raised, and she is an international performer. You know, whether you're talking about Germany, France, Russia, Lithuania, all countries in between, Africa, as well as, or continents rather, South Africa, and even here in our home country. But she has tremendous talents in terms of all aspects of jazz, swing, big band, bebop, fusion. But she's not just a performer. She also has coached students from the ages of 8 right through the age of 60 and above. And it's all about developing individual artistic talents. And she founded the organization Showability as an external effort that's really near and dear to her heart, which is to provide opportunities for artists with disabilities to experience the gift of music and share it. So we're really thrilled to have Myrna join us today, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm going to share my screen and see if I can do that. No. Wait. There, share. And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you very much, Todd and team, for inviting Showability to be a part. We believe that everybody deserves a stage, and so it's all about that type of interaction and integration with the community and with the audience. And so I have a question for everybody. Tell me, what artists or entertainers do you know that have a disability? I wish I had a ding, 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 ding. I wish I had that little sound effect, but wonder if anybody in the chat can come up. Let's see if anybody in the chat say anything. Any there? If not, I'll go on. Let me see. Did you name any of these folks? Stevie Wonder, or Itzhak Perlman, Ali Stroker, any of these, or maybe some of these guys that are performing artists, or whether there be, this is multidisciplinary. This is not one, whether it's singing or dancing. This is actors, this is comedians. These are dancers, musicians, all across the disability spectrum. And that's what Showability is all about. Not sure if any of you saw the recent documentary called Crip Camp. It actually won the Sundance Best Documentary for the Sundance Film Festival, and also was nominated for an Oscar. It's currently showing on, I thought a Hulu, but it's still on Netflix, which is great. And so this is a wonderful documentary that speaks about the advocacy within the disability community. It speaks about a camp in California called Camp Gen Ed, which led to sit-ins and marches in the streets of California, which led to the 504 and then ultimately to ADA being signed into law. What Showability does is we do unique programming in 3 particular areas. One, artistic showcasing, where we have talent shows, and we also have an inclusive chorus made up of singers with and without disabilities. This is where we perform to the public. In addition, we have education and career development, where we actually work with artists to improve their talent. We also, because Georgia is the film capital of the world, I want to say right now, because not too much is happening in California right now. And so it's happening here in Georgia. And so we've actually started a talent booking agency. And because caregivers are such an important part of this community, we also do caregiver support in terms of offering programming for caregivers. And then lastly, but not least, we're all about advocacy. One of the things that's important to us is accessibility, not just to enter the building or go to the bathroom, which is basically what ADA says. It's building code compliance. We are very much so person-centered in our efforts. And so accessing the stage is important to us. Many facilities do not have accessible stages. And so that's something that's significant to us, where someone says, well, yes, our building is compliant, our building is accessible, but we can't get on stage. And so that's a huge issue for us as performers. And then there are other areas as well that deal with accessibility, like choice seating, choice options of where you want to sit, and all of these types of options that's not necessarily available in this space. We also do a disability awareness career day at elementary schools, and then we're also starting an initiative where we're wanting to call it ADA 2.0, because again, right now it's all about accessing the building, but once you get in there, there's still disability issues, there's still access issues, and we want to speak to that. Because we're on the front line experiencing those limitations. These are just some examples of what we do. And as I indicated, those are what I said earlier, but these are flyers, if you will, of our programming. And we've been at this since 2007. And as of last year, really went in hard on the virtual aspect of things. We still do a few things in person, but much of our programming right now is virtual. This is an example of some of our in-school programming with the Disability Awareness Program. And then I'd like to just kind of share coming up, as I mentioned, our virtual program. We do master classes. And pre-COVID, because Todd had asked sort of what's sort of our impact programs. Prior to COVID, it was very much so our talent shows and us putting folks on stage and giving them an opportunity to showcase their talent. During the pandemic, we've had to obviously, like everybody, go virtual. And so we were very pleased to launch our masterclass series, where we feature persons connected to the disability community, especially those that are directly in the disability community. And so a week and a half ago, we presented Ricky McKinney, who's with the Blind Boys of Alabama. Later this month, we're presenting Elizabeth Lab Webb, who's going to be teaching about acting. And she's executive director for Core Dance Company, and she's a trained actor herself. And then in October, which is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, we're featuring a guy named Lionel Woodyard, who is actually featured in Crip Camp as one of the camp counselors. He's based here in Atlanta. And so we're featuring him. And then announcing, yay, we're actually going to be doing a 6-week acting class program, because we're getting a lot of opportunities for folks to act, and many of the casting agents are saying they're really good, but they need to take acting classes. And because we don't know of any acting classes that are available in the city that support people with disabilities, we're going to provide that. And so starting October 10th, we're going to be offering acting classes, and we're pretty excited about that. Why we do what we do, you guys, it's all about valuing the person, period. And as a performer myself, I know firsthand that we want the opportunity to showcase our talent. There's no limit on talent, and we want to be able to showcase that. And so with that, we support with music and arts opportunities for people in the disability community, visible and invisible, born or acquired, employment, education, empowerment, and enjoyment. We also enhance opportunities for the caregivers. And as I indicated before, we are serious advocates about accessibility, especially, and inclusion and equity. These are some Atlanta artists that are on the disability spectrum that we support. You know, who knew? We didn't know until she came forth to us that there's a Miss Wheelchair, pageant. And so there are lots of opportunities, but we're just not aware of. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Full Radius Dance Company. We don't have them pictured here, but the Jerry Habima Theater that's at the Marcus Jewish Community Center. And so there are lots of opportunities for folks, but one of the biggest challenges we have is persons in the disability community not wanting to self-identify. And so as a result, we don't know that you are a person with a disability that has a talent. And because we don't know it, we can't find you. And so we can't promote you. We can't put you out there and put you on stage and give you platforms because we don't know. And so one of the things that we definitely want to do is increase our database of artists and actors on the disability spectrum. Our North Star is to be for the arts and entertainment industry what the Paralympics and the Special Olympics are for the sports industry. We want to showcase excellence and we want to showcase talent. And so our goals are all about creating unique programming. We're really thought leaders in the space of valuing differences and celebrating similarities. And we are on the leading edge of what's changing in inclusion and accessibility. Our outcomes are about self-esteem, artist talent, gaining opportunity for confidence building and self-advocacy, and then certainly self-care for our caregivers. You guys, the market is ready for us. The market is ready for us to be inclusive, fully inclusive in our programming. I mentioned the Crip Camp, and these are some artists and programs that you may or may not have seen or been aware of, but the market is ready. We're seeing that. This is a wonderful time for opportunity, and thank you to Bobby Dodd Institute and Todd for talking about and present and allowing Showability to join you in the effort that they're looking right now hot off the press, looking for persons on the disability spectrum to participate in an upcoming film, to have a job there. And so we were able to participate in that and bring some folks to the table that might be able to be interviewed and considered for those positions. And so this is how to get in touch with us at Showability. It's just really simply showability1, the number 1 at gmail.com. And then you can visit our website at showability.org. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, like probably all of you guys. And then my name is Myrna Clayton, and any of those avenues will reach me or someone on our team, and we will be back in touch with you. And we're excited. We're excited about being that voice for entertainment. And when I say entertainment, it's music, art. It's across the artistic spectrum, and it's not just one. It's just not theater. It's not just television and movies. It's not just anything. It's all inclusive of arts and entertainment. And that's what Showability is all about. It's about showing ability, showcasing ability. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Myrna. I think it would be great. I know you talked about what Showability is all about. I'd love to hear more about the range of performers that you have in your cadre, and the fact that when this opportunity came up down at Tyler Perry Studios, I mean, you immediately had candidates that were chomping at the bit, and I know a lot of them are going to be very qualified for the roles. But in terms of the scope of individuals that either have participated or could participate in a performance, what's the range? Is it come one, come all, or what is?
One of the things I learned about the disability community is that no one likes to be patronized. And so as a result, we want folks who are really talented, really have a talent for their craft, and making an effort to perform someplace using their talent. And so that being the broad answer: singers, dancers, comedians, actors, musicians, models, poets, whoever would be on stage in order to be heard and valued and appreciated for their talent is where we give the platform and the opportunity to. And so it's in the theater world, it's called multidisciplinary. But it's truly that. If you have a talent, I mean, acting is monologue, acting is poetry, acting is singing. One could say it's acting, but for us, it's anyone who wants to perfect their talent, their God-given talent, and showcase that to the world. We want to give you that opportunity and that platform.
That's great. And I know you showcased your website, and just to give people an idea of what performance with Showability looks like, there is a performance that you can watch on the site.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And there are a few. I'd like to really just kind of ask your viewers and the support of your organization to really help us to encourage persons to self-identify as an actor or singer with a disability. And I say this just being very candid. If I go for a job and someone I can't say that I'm not an African American person. I can't say that I'm not a woman. I'm a woman. I'm African American. That's who I am. And for me not to identify that, that causes me to miss out on opportunities that are specifically looking, especially in the entertainment world, they're casting for a certain role. And one of the biggest challenges with the disability community is that they can't find authentic actors. Why? Because they're not putting it on their resume. And so if they don't put it on their resume, then they don't even know. Now, mind you, in the past, that was an issue. I get it. And it still is an issue. But if we don't speak up, and if the persons on the disability spectrum don't speak up for themselves, then those of us who advocate for them can't say, okay, here's 5, here's 10. And lastly, I did a search in the Southeastern United States looking for performing artists with disabilities of the name list that I gave you. In the Southeast, you want to know how many names came up? In the whole Southeast, 25. Okay? Now
We can do better.
that's crazy to me. And that's people who self-identify that they have a disability. I'm looking to book you and send you on places to, for opportunities. I'm looking to showcase you. But if I can't find you because you're not saying it, and then even one of our actors or singers who said, I said, why don't you promote that you have a disability? He says, well, when I show up, they'll see. I'm like, that's not the time for people to know that. We've got to prepare for you. We've got to have accommodations for you. And so we need to know that. I may not be able to see it in your picture. If the person's blind, they can't see it. They can't see your picture. And so it's a lot of opportunities for us to build confidence, for us to encourage people to be fine in the skin they're in, and build that support. And that's where that the support groups that are within Bobby Dodd are so great. And what Renee was talking about in terms of the social integration, and how you come together and be okay with how things are, and make it and strive in that. Be the best you that you can be. The opportunities are there. Is it tough? It's tough for all of us. As I don't speak another language, but that doesn't stop me from going abroad. I have an interpreter. I have support. I have help. And so it happens for all of us. And so we have to just push forward because we have a gift and a talent, and we're not going to let anybody stop us from showcasing that gift or that talent.
Great, Myrna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just one final question, and you were starting to go in this path, and Renee, I'd love for you to share as well. What has been the value from your perspectives when you've set up the activities, whether they're recreational or the therapies, Renee or Myrna, as you've seen your performers kind of move along from day one when they walked in or when they expressed an interest in being on a stage or showcasing and honing their craft. How have you seen the change in their disposition, the change in their attitude and the personality take hold over time?
Well, I know for me, when you work with individuals that they deal with not being included. And so one of our goals is to include. And so maybe I'll have somebody that says, okay, you guys are doing bowling. I'll come, but I don't bowl. I don't really know if I even like bowling, but they get there and they love it. And then they actually adopt that. And it's something that they develop in their personal life. And then also when you're working with individuals and they may be really quiet or shy, but when you connect them, right, and you see those bonds and you see the light in their eyes when they realize, okay, oh, you like this too. Oh, you watch Marvel movies or you like comic books. Developing relationships is one of the ways that we stay healthy, spiritually, mentally. So when you're working with individuals and you're able to help them build partnerships, like we talked about, learn interests, there's nothing like discovering that you like something that you never thought about. So I hope that with the services we provide, we're not just getting somebody out in the community, but it's also something that's helping them learn about what really motivates them. So I think without, learning and knowing what you want, you can feel really lonely. So I hope that that's what we're doing. And I see that's what Bobby Dodd is doing.
Um, I was looking at some of the questions on the side. It's about getting out there and doing it. It's about getting out there and showcasing what you can do. Um, Someone in the chat. First of all, a number of people were mentioning Cody Lee. But if it wasn't for his mom saying my son has a talent and I'm going to put it out here no matter what somebody says, then he wouldn't have had the opportunity to win that $1 million, championship. And what was involved in just him going there and then being there every week. It's as you said, really honing your craft. It's being able to take the classes, perfect your gift, take advantage of opportunities that come your way, and not letting your there's an actor in New York that says, I don't have a disability. What disables me are the barriers that others place in front of me. And that's it. There are going to be barriers. But guess what? Everybody has barriers. It's not unique to the disability community. The thing is, we have to do what it takes to get around them. Sometimes it's about who you know. Sometimes it's about, just standing up or rolling in and saying, oh no, this opportunity is for me. You didn't know it, but I'm the best candidate for this job. Whatever it is, go out there and make it happen. Someone did ask a question about film editing, and reach out to us. We'll see if we can find and we can help, in that space in terms of becoming a film editor. There's nothing to say, go to SCAD and sign up for the class. Go to the universities and sign up for it. I go to YouTube University all the time. And so there's opportunities there. It's just a matter of taking it upon yourself to find out what those steps are. And because Bobby Dodd has been doing this awesome programming, virtual programming, and allowing us the opportunity to share, they're the #1 resource right now for you to go to, and they can point you to whoever's next to go. And in terms of reaching us, we're definitely at showability1@gmail.com.
Wonderful. That's just a great way to wrap up our virtual series. Thank you so much, Myrna. Thank you so much, Renee. And if you've missed any of our other sessions that we've had over the past just about a year and a half, you can go on to YouTube, to the Bobby Dodd Institute channel, and you'll see the Igniting the Inclusive Workforce series. But we've covered, in addition to social integration, we've covered post-secondary education. So whether that's film editing or something else, we have covered job coaching and resume building, as well as transportation, just a whole host of topics. So I really encourage everyone to go ahead and check those out and enjoy them. They're all under an hour. Most of them are under 45 minutes. So please do so. And for those of you who'd like to connect with BDI further, for any general inquiries, you can email us at info@bobbydodd.org. But as Myrna is connected, Renee and BDI are too. So there's a lot of opportunities to get in touch with us. But we thank you again for being part of this final session, and we bid you adieu. Thank you so much, Myrna and Renee again, and thank you to all of you who joined us. Have a great rest of your day.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.